For those of you who didn't know,
Faker has won.
That too. But for those of you who didn't know, not only has Faker won a trophy, another trophy, but I've also won a trophy. I don't know if you guys watched the promo videos, but he actually won that trophy for me, his fan. The person who sees him as the GOAT, the person who's supported him all these years. Yeah, he won that one for me. So, I feel like the least I could do is watch this video about him. I thought we'd go ahead and watch the GOAT at work here. It's a video dedicated to the GOAT. Why? How could we not watch it?
Faker has won his
The
fifth
one.
world title in
It wasn't
a
for
3-2
Reckles, it was for me.
victory over BLG that saw T1 have to dig deep.
Oh
and
man,
come
these
back
games
from
were
2-1
crazy,
down.
crazy
It needed
good,
something
crazy
special,
good.
something magical, something that almost defied logic.
Yep.
And that's exactly what T1 delivered.
Banger games. I was hoping that they would 3-0 so that I could just leave. We could all leave and go home. But like pushing it to a game 5 and then what happened in game 5, like, man, I love esports. You guys love esports? I love esports. That's
Before
crazy.
we hop into today's episode, I want to thank our sponsor, Opera GX, and their brand new feature, Riot Corner. Opera GX is an official sponsor of Worlds 2024, and they're kicking off Worlds with some sweet new in-browser feetures. In Riot Corner, you'll get access to a schedule of all the matches, a co-streaming hub to jump in and watch, and limited time drops exclusive to GX users at lolesports.com.
Exclusive to Opera GX?
Guys, this is a one-stop shop for absolutely everything you need to keep up with Worlds, baked right into an awesome gaming browser.
I need those exclusive drops for my ARAMs.
Using that link, your browser will download.
I need something to show off in ARAMs.
Access to Riot Corner as soon as you hop in the browser. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring our exclusive World show, The Last Hit,
Firefox ain't doing it.
Supercharging our coverage this year. Now,
just kidding. I'm not even sponsored by Opera GX. I don't know why I'm glazing
the 14th
them.
League of Legends
I'm just
World
playing along.
Championship final kicked off in London's O2 Arena with the performance of Heavy is the Crown by Linkin Park as the Summoners Cup ascended to the stage and the band introduced the teams. On one side we have
I like how they don't mention the other performers. Yeah, just Linkin Park for the opening ceremony, not the other ones.
Champions who had defied expectations by even making it to the tournament and then the finals, and on the other we have the terrifying LPL super team who had been finding their form with each successive win and were now looking to bring their true power crashing down on T1. And game 1 started as BLG meant to go on with a level 1 wraparound.
Dude, Gumayushi at this exact spot, this has got to be cursed or something. Like, bro must have pissed off like the ghost of the Raptors that haunts this area or something. My boy was going through it.
Who really needed to flash or die and instead elected to do both. BLG kept that early pressure up with Knight bullying Faker off the wave in the mid lane while Elk and On went in on T1's bot and Jun combined with Bin in the top lane to take down Zeus. All of the second grubs looked to be going
whole
BLG's
entire series,
way
man.
until Gumayushi reminded everyone that nothing is too tricky for him to steal.
T1 decision right now, do they just let Faker farm turret play?
It's Guma! It's at the Baron pit! I know it's the grubs right now, but he always manages to steal it!
A well-timed Mega Gnar from Zeus picked up T1's first 2 kills, but when a team fight began shortly after, BLG eviscerated T1 with Elk's Ashe picking up the triple kill. A lonesome owner getting picked off with his own stolen Sejuani ult allowed BLG to crack T1's base before 18 minutes. T1 were too
Honestly
late
though,
to
to their credit, BLG played crazy out of their minds. Like, especially with the games that they won like definitively those games. They didn't give T1 like a single chance to breathe. Like, T1 won those team fights and then BLG just found a way to just flip it on its head and come back. They played crazy.
BLG taking Baron before 25 minutes, but just in time to get convincingly mopped up in the following team fight, and shortly after, BLG choked T1 out in their own base to take game 1.
Baker's fate is sealed as he dives the backline and dies for it! BLG come out swinging and take
Check
game
him,
1.
PC. Check him, Cup for Adderall. No, because they were playing out of their minds. I'm
it
saying.
was deja vu in game 2 as Gumayushi fell to a BLG invade.
Dude, the same spots.
And now flashless Gumayushi somehow survived a 3v2, which was eventually turned round by T1 once Owner and Faker showed
Okay, this
up to
game,
put T1 ahead. And
Owner and Zeus this game, holy moly. I was like, after every team fight, I was like, thank God for Zeus and Owner, man. They did so
began
good.
To twist the knife a few minutes later in a 5v4 team fight, which netted Gumayusi a double kill. The next team fight, just before 16 minutes, looked even cleaner, showcasing T1's comp with a perfect layering of ults. BLG thought they'd caught Faker 8 minutes later, but they thought wrong. And
he's the unkillable
that was
demon
their
king.
only chance to put a dent in T1. T1 took Baron and wiped BLG off the map just before 27 minutes to even up the series.
How is he alive? T1 will strike back.
Ancient Romans when they saw Jesus back from the dead.
Game number 2 to even it
It wasn't that moment, but pretty similar, right?
Try as you might, T1. I'm on home turf, and we're going to a best of 3.
Game 3's early game went firmly in BLG's favor, who racked up a massive 5k gold lead by just 14 minutes. By 21 minutes, they'd extended that to 7k with more kills and turrets under their belts, and what looked like a decent collapse onto Knight's Galio for T1 was quickly turned around into T1 just collapsing. A TP flank looked promising for T1 as they tried to defend their inhib, resulting in a 2-for-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. The games that they won definitively, dude. 14-3 with a 12k gold lead is absolutely nuts to see. To see T1, Worlds T1 to be put through that. So to their credit, BLG played very well.
Done to T1's base.
Had me clenching. They had me clenching up until the last moments of Game 5.
BLG the 2-1 series lead.
Clenching. I'm just a fan.
To take us to match points.
A convincing Game 3 victory from
Check
BLG.
him drink.
Bin,
Check him cup.
and cool as he walks off the stage. BLG have come into this series looking nothing but confident.
T1's backs could not be more up against the wall going into Game 4, quickly finding themselves almost 1,000 gold down by 6 minutes.
Poor Zeus, this whole entire series, man.
Life back into the squad,
Oh my
who won
God.
a knife's edge team fight before Second Dragon to give themselves the gold lead, with carriers Renata doing some AP Karma cosplay.
Let's
the
go.
gold stayed pretty tight until 20 minutes when
Oh,
a
there
flank
is.
from Faker set up
That
a
was a crazy play.
disgusting wombo combo, allowing T1 to take Baron. It was Faker who led the charge again soon after with a stolen Sejuani ult. Gumayusi decided he
It took him 3 games, all right? It took him 3 games, but the unkillable Demon King finally emerged, and I was jumping for joy when Faker started doing Faker things again.
He was now T1's back and front line. It wasn't long before a Baron and sold up T1 were able to shut down BLG once again and even up the series at 2-2.
On the shoulders of Faker, T1 will go to Game 5. There is no one like him, not on this earth. T1 take us to Silver Scrapes.
In the do-or-die Game 5 with BLG getting a very comfortable draft for them, Knight Ari picked up 2 crucial kills early on to slow the gold lead T1 was amassing.
Zeus is him.
After a quiet early game left the teams on almost even gold, an overstep from On's Rel allowed T1 to pick him off and continue dragon stacking in the mid-game. But a few minutes later, what looked like a winning team fight for BLG after T1 took a 4v5 without Faker was turned around in stunning fashion.
Carrier's Poppy too, super clean.
Gets onto the back line, Gumayusi cleanses away, but Ben has already put him in the dirt. Kevin is next up. BLG find 2, T1 able to back away for the moment, but the TP behind by Ben as he looks for a little bit more.
This is just a straight up 3v4. This was just a straight up 3v4. Like, we are better.
Once again, when you need someone.
Oh my God.
Anyone to stand up and show just what this game's all about. It's Faker.
They're so good. They just...
And
It's just a
just
straight up
after
3v. And then
31
this one,
minutes,
yeah.
Faker looked dead to rights, but somehow
Oh.
managed to survive the
He's
1v3
still alive.
long enough for the
He's
T1
still
cavalry
alive.
to save the day.
How is he
Zeus
alive?
is caught. He's 1v4 here. He's actually gonna die.
Oh,
the
they
Galio.
show the clip.
Hey, denial! Elk Sonia's was good.
My camera's covering
They
it,
have the
but
damage to get them down.
they show the clip.
Oh, he sniped him! He sniped him! Oh, Zeus! Oh, Faker, you don't! Sonya's! Here come Owner and Zeus! There, guys, take us alive! Take us alive! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! How is he alive?
And many people might not have noticed that Kerry's poppy ult onto Knight stopped him
That
from TPing into the
stopped
fight
it,
in
yeah.
what may very well have been the difference maker. And so, off the back of another Faker miracle play in a series which reached 6.94 million viewers and broke the all-time esports viewership record,
The Twitter
T1
memes were
ran
so
down top
funny.
to
The
end
Twitter memes
game
were so
and
funny.
win Worlds 2024.
POV, you're an ancient Roman and you see Jesus return on Sunday or whatever. How is he alive? I love watching Faker's face cam. Someone on Twitter said that was the most emotion they've ever seen Faker show. It was him. Nice! He throws his headset. And I gotta say, man, like, this is my favorite iteration of T1. I've been watching League of Legends esports since season 2. So, like, I saw when Faker entered the scene, I saw him enter with Piglet, you know, and then he was SKT1 with SKT1 with or it was SKT1 back then. But, you know, Wolf, Bang, all those guys. I think this one, Zeus, Owner, Keria, Gumayushi, my favorite iteration. I don't know. It just, the storyline is so good with this team. The script is so good with this team. And it just feels like this is like that traditional Band of Brothers story, right? Where it's like Faker's Master Splinter and the 4 are the Ninja Turtles, except when they grow up, Faker is just Master Splinter on steroids. That's the Twitter meme.
Even I'm struggling to find the words to describe
it was
this
so
right now.
good,
so
man.
Before I do, let's hear it from the man himself, Sean Wetzlar, who was on the ground at the finals.
So good.
Another year, another chance to say it. Faker is just him. He showed up in the grand finals of the World Championship when his team needed it the most. Now, BLG had some insanely strong early games in this series, getting first blood
they were
all 5 times.
They
And
were
at some
bending
point,
Zeus.
It looked like T1
They were
might
tormenting
just
that boy.
crumble. But in game 4, up against this scaling Smolder, when their backs were against the wall and his team needed him the most, Faker put the game and the series on his back.
Take a look at that flank. We'll seal away the quickness from on guest. Chalon flashes in, finds 2. Equalizer.
Like 11 years, countless mid laners, still only one Faker.
He finds everything T1 were looking for.
일단 4세트 같은 경우에 제가 사일러스로 한번
That's my goat.
이니시를 한
That's my goat.
그 장면에서 좀 직관적으로 좀 이니시를 했는데 되게 결과도 잘 나오고 좀 되게 팀원들도 잘 호응해줘서 그 장면이 좀 가장 상징적이었던 것 같습니다, 개인적으로.
Faker's engages completely turned the tide, giving the fans in London the silver scrapes we all deserved for such a remarkable series. So, heading into Game 5, Bin locks in the Jax. It's a comfort pick, it's his signature champion, and I think we all sort of expected Zeus to counter it with this weak side Gragas that he's been pioneering in lane swaps throughout this tournament. And in addition to that matchup between probably the 2 best top laners in the world, Faker put on an absolute masterclass.
Little did Bin know that the World's Finals trophy would end up doing more damage to Zeus than his Jax.
On Galio.
Owner, very close here.
Pressure on you, shadowing strike going wide. Chen tries to dash across the wall, but immediately he's locked up.
Oh,
Goes in
Guma
with
dies
Captain
here, right?
Gumayushi
Because
across
he had to
Featherstorm.
flash
Overlook
the
re-engage onto
charm.
On, Chen down to half HP. Ben gets onto the back line. Gumayushi cleanses away, but Ben.
Honestly, not gonna lie, when I saw Guma and Keria going down, my heart dropped into my stomach. I was just like, oh no. Why do I feel a sense of dread? Oh no. And then Owner and Faker started doing Owner and Faker things, and I was like, okay, we're good. We're chilling. Zeus is on Gragas. We're chilling. Bomba.
Heavy is next up. BLG find 2. T1 able to back away for the moment, but the TP behind by Bin as he looks for a little bit more. Oh, they got back in.
God, dude, they're so good at just knowing like each other. It's like they read each other. Well, I mean, they're obviously screaming in each other's ears, but it looks like they just read each other intuitively.
So the way that Guma got isolated and taken out of that fight, it looked like it should be BLG's win, but Faker absolutely came to the rescue. That play netted them Baron, turning the tide. But then a few moments later, in what seemed like a completely impossible 2v4, this happened.
Wait a second, topside, Zeus under
How is he alive?
By BLG collapsing, 4 members strong, the heroes entering. Oh, Zeus joins the fight. Elko with the stopwatch, Faker in the middle of them all, and it seems like death may have arrived, and his name is Faker.
Galio Q, dude.
The rest of T1 begin his collapse. Faker's gonna fall as he pulls the stopwatch, manages to buy himself
an owner, and Guma.
Save his mid laner once again, and Faker still
insane. Like, what a moment.
He stands above it all, and he looks hungrily at that world's trophy. Knight goes in with the Spirit Rush, lands the charm as well. The first Nexus Tower's fallen, and T1 are just looking for the prize.
Like, post-finals, I was still digesting it for, like, hours afterwards. Like, we really saw just, like, an amazing, crazy, impossible Game 5.
Faker was all over the map, and his performances in Game 4 and Game 5 especially were a huge part.
On did kind of throw a couple times, if I remember correctly, but let's not talk about that. BLG did play out of their minds. This is my favorite iteration of T1, and I hope they can stay together, but you've now got a roster of, you know, Faker plus multi-time world champions on your roster. I'm sure it's going to come down to like a salary type of thing, and they are completely in their right to ask for more money. And, you know, sometimes you just can't afford certain players. So even though I really hope they do stay together, it's my favorite iteration of T1, I totally understand if like something happens. That's just the business side of things, right? It's just the business. It's out of anybody's control.
Of T1 lifting the Summoners
Probably would have been
Cup
cheaper
yet
if they
again.
lost, but
it's no surprise
nobody
that he
wanted
became
that.
the first player
I
in
didn't want
history
that.
to earn 2 Finals MVPs. At this point, what more can you say? When his team needs him the most, Faker always produces some kind of magic.
I am kind of sad that Kyria didn't get the MVP. Like, Kyria's Renata Glask is pretty insane.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Maybe Faker is just magical. Or maybe he's been on this final stage so many times now that his experience is unassailable. You can have an incredible year like BLG, be the best team in your region, have a super team of stars with the scary pocket picks and deep champion pools that they have. You can figure out the meta or even define it. But at the end of the day, there's no competing with the experience of a player who has been to a Worlds final a total of 7 times now. That's just one less than the entire LPL region. That experience, dating back over a decade now, has forged a self-belief in Faker that's not born out of arrogance, but a simple fact he knows. He's been here before and come out the other end. He just has to stay calm and play, and more often than not, he'll win. And maybe that self-assuredness
Faker proving that he is indeed worth a whole Gen G. I don't know if you guys know, but Faker's salary is estimated to be as much as Gen G's entire starting roster. It's insane.
has rubbed off on the rest of T1, because if they ever doubt themselves, they too only have to look at the evidence. At Faker's side, they've got to 3 finals in a row now and won 2 of them. For the ZOFGK roster, the greatest roster ever assembled, the proof is very much in the pudding. It may not be too much of a surprise then that yesterday, Korean news outlet Naver reported that a T1 official had told them all the players have the will to stay together. For now though, the discussion has been about which skins the lads will be taking, with Faker saying he'll go with something the fans like. I and many others will be.
Okay, so Zeus, it's gotta be T1 Gragas, right? I think it's T1 Gragas. It could be Orange. I'm pretty sure it's T1 Gragas. Owner. You know what? I know he won the series with the Jin Zhao. I feel like his Vi was so iconic during like the entirety of Worlds though. I think it'll be Vi. Especially because Arcane season 2 is coming out too. I think it'll be Vi. It's they gotta capitalize on the current events too, you know. Faker, Jesus, what what skin wouldn't he? It's probably Silas. No, is there already a Silas world skin? I can't remember. Silas or probably Galio, honestly. If it's Faker, it's Silas or Galio this world's. Guma wants Jin or Varus. I think Varus probably makes more sense. And then Keria, Renata, or Pike. I think they'll go through with the Pike skin. I think everyone's leaning Renata. I think they're gonna go through with the Pike skin. They're gonna pull the rug from under us and give us the Pike because this Pike's nasty, or it was in the semis.
Praying for Galio, but whatever he chooses, he'll now have 9 skins, including his upcoming Worlds and Prestige skins, which is more than 62 champions have. It is comical at this point. Faker's brilliance and longevity have almost exhausted everything there is to say about him. We've gone from debating whether he's the best esports player of all time to...
Okay, real quick. Before Faker retires, or like when Faker retires, do they immortalize him by making a champion that's just so OP? Like, Faker gets to be a champion, like, when he retires. But he's a champion that never gets nerfs. Launches, like, at launch is just super busted, and he's just permabanned in every ranked game. I think that's the only way to honor Faker's memory in League of Legends. The Ari skin, he doesn't even use the Ari skin, you know? Put him in the game.
Asking whether he's the greatest competitor across, well, everything. And spare a thought for BLG here. By anyone's standards, they put together a world's winning roster that was a single game from glory. They put up a hell of a fight, and in a world without T1
BLG was
or
crazy.
Faker, I don't see how anyone
Shun
could have stopped
Skarner
lifting
is
that trophy. But that's
terrifying.
not the world we live in. We live in one where an LPL team is still unable to do something so seemingly simple, yet apparently impossible: beating Faker at Worlds in a best-of-5 series.
We
It was
love you,
hard not to
Faker.
feel sorry for the likes of Bin, tweeting out a single broken heart after the final and wondering how he can even sleep
Aw,
after that.
that's
BLG will go
sad.
back to the drawing board.
That's actually sad. Okay, to be fair, Twitch chat, and I read it too. I read it live, okay? Twitch chat was memeing the shit out of Bin. And I'll admit, I laughed. I didn't partake in the memeing, but I read it and I laughed, all right? But, like, you gotta feel for the guy, you know? Like, people were so sure that he was the star player and that, you know, like, look at him, bro. He's, like, gazing off into the distance at T1 celebrating. Like, that's heartbreaking. That's so sad. I do feel bad for him.
And ask themselves what more they could have possibly done. And sure, they will find room to improve. They did make mistakes that series, particularly in Game 5. I bet other teams around the world are already studying that series for clues as to how to crack T1 at Worlds, and next year we'll likely see the whole world try once again to bring them down. But even with the whole
during
world
regular
against them,
season,
even if they're plagued by injuries,
it's
and
almost like they're any
tormented by
other team.
DDoSes throughout the year, as we
World's
find
buff is
ourselves
just
in
OP.
this new T1 dynasty, I wouldn't bet against them.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this,
guys.
hit the sub button and ring the notification
All right,
bell.
let's take bets now. Who's gonna be in the finals for Worlds 2025? Oh man, dude, like, I said it once before, I'm gonna just say it again. I love esports, man. Like, playing the game, not so much, all right? But, like, watching esports and watching, like, just how much bigger it gets every single year, man, I love esports, guys.